Oh, hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be checking out the newly released Universal Flight Tablet for the PMDG 737 lineup, in the future the 777 as well. I was debating over whether I should make this video or not, because other creators, bigger creators, have already gotten used to it. Figured it doesn't hurt, I guess, to give my 5 cents on the matter. There's people already kind of criticizing it. It's been out for maybe an hour and a half now. Is 3Z on Monday, so yeah, it's been 1 hour and a half at the most since it's been officially released. And well, what can I say? By the way, disclaimer, this wallpaper is custom. That's not official wallpaper. I changed it myself. That's not how it's actually going to look. So we got the update installed. And yeah, just letting you guys know so that there's no, so that you guys do not expect to find that once you load up the tablet for the first time. So you get Performance Tool, and you get the EFB and the Electronic Flight Bag app, which is going to include Scene Brief, a moving map, the Navigraph charts, which I don't have. I don't have the expensive plan. I have the basic one. I pay only for data because I have other I have another source for charts basically, so I don't pay for Navigraph what to make. But the thing is, people have been saying, oh, the EFB is very basic, they took 3 years, and I find that, I mean, them, obviously, not myself, I'm just voicing what they have said. They find that it is a bit underwhelming, all things considered. So it's been in development for so long. And well, yeah, I do agree that in some ways it could be seen as something terribly underwhelming, as you cannot really open the doors, you cannot figure any of the aircraft settings that you can control via the FMC. Obviously you still don't have that. They're gonna add that in the future, but from the very first build you only have the Performance Tool and the which, well, honestly, I'm not really that affected by it by any means. I am not mad that it's not there. I mean, I do feel that they should have maybe considered like adding that all the things that you would expect from a industry standard quote unquote EFB, but at the same time, it's not it's not a game breaker. I mean, we didn't even have an EFB until a couple hours ago, and it was fine. Everyone was flying the 737, and it's perfectly fine. But we don't actually need the EFB. So in their defense, what we have right now, the feature set that comes with this EFB, is actually, I mean, pretty realistic. In real life, you cannot control the doors through the EFB. You cannot control the payload through the EFB. You're gonna see the numbers, obviously. You're gonna load up your flight plan. You're gonna, see the performance figures and so on, but you don't have any control over the aircraft actually. So that's pretty realistic from that standpoint. If you think about it, if you want to go for a very immersive experience, fine. But then again, we gotta consider that this is a simulator, and well, most developers have found the EFB as a proper way to control the settings, and like that's what everyone else does. And if you did not, they will in the future. They have claimed it. And another thing as well, I've mentioned that ecosystem thing, which is actually pretty cool. They call it the garden, which means the developers are going to be able to make their own applications for the EFB in the future. They're going to be able to develop and integrate their stuff. So let's say Scene Brief wants to make their own app, they could, Warbanks, I don't know, whatever company wanted to make something to include in the EFB, they could actually do that through their garden. So it's going to create the whole an entire ecosystem of applications that can run within that EFB, which I personally find pretty cool actually, because I mean all the other EFBs are a sort of locked ecosystem, a locked environment that you cannot really modify. They add the stuff that they find useful, and you have no control over what you have on it basically. And so that would mean that you could actually basically have an EFB that is your own in many ways. You could get it made for your needs, basically tailor-made, let's put it that way. And that's actually a pretty good idea, honestly, if you think about it. Like being able to have applications that are not from the developer itself, but from other developers, from other companies, and maybe even normal developers that feel like improving it. I'm not sure if it's going to be open to everyone. They have mentioned third parties, so maybe just other companies. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. But imagine if they could actually, if they were to open it to everyone and people could go wild and do whatever they want. So basically, the sky's the limit. Potentially, allegedly, it could be the limit. We're gonna see how that pans out in the future. The whole ecosystem, the whole garden, quote unquote, that they have been trying to implement here. Great idea. Feature-wise, like I said, it's pretty simple. You can even move the icons. The icons are placed like very randomly. There's no pattern to it. It's just kind of might not even be aligned at a glance. It just seems like they're not aligned, but that doesn't. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Here's the EFB. Here's the map. Oh, slowly. So you can zoom in and out. I won't do that because that's currently crashing the simulator. But it's basically a zoom feature, and you zoom in and out of the map. You have your flight plan here, the whole thing. Your waypoints. That's pretty nice actually. It's something that FS Labs EFB had in the past. I really like. Yeah, the waypoints, like an actual dot represented the waypoint, and then it was after they changed the map. A couple weeks after the sharklets were released, actually, they changed it entirely, and that was gone. I was very sad, honestly. Requested that data from Scene Brief. It gets you all the values that you need. Aircraft reg, the winds, so on, all the information that's required to fill on the FMC. And then you have the weather request. You can request METARs for the alternate, for the arrival, for the departure, and so on. Works just fine, perfect. What else? You have the OFB, obviously. You can drag, you can zoom, you can do whatever you want. Really nice, honestly. Not gonna think about that. Really like it. In the charts, which I don't have, you can scan the QR code. Here you have the settings, which are pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and info about the product. Basically, that's all there is to this bit. To the flight bag, it's a pretty simple flight bag. I mean, like I said, there's no control over the aircraft itself. It's just for the flight plan and so on, scene brief, and basically that's it. It is simple. It's pretty simple, but that's what you would get in real life, honestly. I mean, not the scene brief part, obviously, but you would get your flight plan here, and the meaningful information. So you could also fetch the matters from there. That's about it. So as real as it gets in that sense. Then again, it's a simulator. There are industry standards that have to be adhered to, and they will in the future. They have said that they will consider. They will add it in the future. So that's a good thing, I suppose. It's going to be added. It's going to be considered. But from now, it is not there. They have absolutely zero control over the aircraft from the tablet, and it has been annoying a lot of people. Not myself. I don't mind. Honestly, I'm just fine with controlling it through the FMC because it just works as well. It's pretty simple. I mean, my hand's not gonna fall off if I cannot do that on the tablet. But here, like, what's the difference, honestly? If you consider it, like, let's think about it. What's the difference? Not a lot. Not a lot at all. Although I do find it less immersion breaking to have it on the tablet, which is it's a little more hidden away than actually in plain view here in the FMC, where it conflicts with the whole harmony of the systems and so on. It can be a little bit immersion breaking because you wouldn't see that in real life. On the tablet, it's just a tablet. It's not part of there per se. So it's easy to conceal that there if you don't want it to be seen. If you don't want that in plain sight, because you go here menu, you see PMDG setup, FS actions. That doesn't exist in real life. It's not there. You're not gonna see that in real life. So it can compromise your experience a little bit in that regard, but it's fine. It's there. It's gonna stay there, and I understand why. And at the end of the day, it's a simulator. It's not real life. We gotta remember that this is a simulator. Anyway, back to the top, which is the whole point of the video anyway, right? Back to the menu, we have a performance store, which I do like. People have been complaining about the UI, saying, "Oh, it doesn't look realistic." Guess what? I mean, it doesn't look nice. Guess what? That's how they look in real life. If you look up, especially the Airbus one, the Airbus has an app. I think it's for the iPad, which looks pretty much like that. So I don't really get the fuzz. Like, oh, it's a performance calculator. It doesn't have to look great, and it looks professional. That's all I'm gonna say. It looks pretty on pair with what you would see in real life. So I don't get why people have been complaining so much about how terrible it looks, because, bro, it's a performance calculator. It's not you know, iOS 17, iOS 18 where UI matters, or Windows even. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, you know. Like, it's the kind of thing that, well, while I do agree on some aspects, like the fact that it feels a little half-assed in that regard, that only has a couple of features. I do agree with people getting mad over that, because it does make sense. You would expect them to follow the industry standard, but they will in the future, so that's good. At the very least, we're getting the important part right now, and the most important bit, which is the performance calculator and the SceneBrief integration, which honestly is pretty much all you really need to fly. I mean, you don't actually even need the EFB to begin with. People were flying without the EFB just fine. So the EFB is just like, you know, it's an extra addition. It's nice. It's expected, because you pay $69 for the airplane. So you would hope it has those features. Obviously. Not denying that. You would hope it had an EFB from the get-go. It's finally here. It doesn't have all the features, but it works. And it works well enough. But on the UI side of things, I cannot really agree that it looks bad, because that's how they look in real life. And PMDG, you can say whatever you want about them. They do try to replicate real life as much as they can, as much as, you know, is reasonable within the confines of the simulation, within all the sim limitations that they have to put up with. You know, it's fair game, and I do think it looks professional, super professional. I mean, I could totally picture this layout. I mean, if you ignore the import from OFB and so on, but I could totally see that in real life. Yeah, I could totally picture a real EFB having that, so I'm not gonna complain. Landing, we're gonna test that one, I suppose. Landing en route import from the OFB, is it gonna work? Amsterdam, we're gonna land on runway 22. Perfect. Runway condition, I think it's dry. Oh, it does that automatically for myself. That's wonderful. Oh, cute. I mean, it's not. I swear I was on QNH, not using Mercury, but it's fine, really. Landing flaps 15. No, what the hell? Flaps 1. Wait, we have, I think. It's important. Oh no, pounds. I swear it was such a kilograms, but it's whatever, really. So we have packs off? No, we have them on. We have packs on, anti-ice is off, auto brakes are gonna be auto brakes 3. The runway is a bit short, so we're gonna be using all the energy. Reverser, no credit. It's fine. Here I've had, we're gonna add 3 tree should suffice. Actually, never mind. Let me just see where menu FMC. Where did my flag line go? Oh, there. Tree. Yeah. Actually, 45. I think that might be a little bit too fast. This runway short as always at 144, and so we're at 2. Perfect. And then we're gonna calculate. So speed's 144, obviously. The required landing distance 5.3 thousand feet. Available landing distance 6.6 thousand feet. Weights 145. That is perfect. That is actually perfect. Let me see if I can change the settings actually, because oops. Oh, blue one is the one that's meters, km. No, not miles. C, yeah. HBA, kilograms. Save preferences. Okay, now we should technically. Oh my god, I misclicked. That was not what I wanted to do. Oh, did it clear my calculations? No. I gotta do it again. It doesn't save it. That's bad. It's a bit sad. I wish it would catch settings, but it's fine. Really. Nah. I mean, 3 years. Development time. Say what you want. Runway condition. Dry. I think it's dry. No, it doesn't. Landing flaps 40 again. Import potatoes 666. That's yeah, right. That's what auto brakes 3. Normal condition. Nope, we are fine. Completely fine. Nothing wrong there. Graph. We'll be adding to the graph. Import weather. It's still. Oh yeah, 9 minutes. So it's all right. In degrees, 180. Calculate. There we go. So we have 1.5 thousand meters. It's 2,000 meters available. It's great. So our calculation is finally ready. We have a rough idea of what we're gonna need. Perfect. It's for my first time using a landing calculator for the 737. Actually, I always just winged it. I just go and whatever happens happens. And well, most of the time it did work, so that's a good thing, I suppose. Let's try something. I wonder if it didn't save because I had to change the settings, the units, or if it really wipes it all off if we go back to the menu. That would be terrible. So that would mean, if you had to go back to your OFP to check something and then return, it would be all wiped. So that would mean you need to use the other EFB, which fortunately enough it is independent, so that's a good thing. You can have that one to have the EFB running on it and the other one running in performance tool. So at the very least that you're fully independent. I do appreciate that. Yeah, let's test it. So we have the values that we need anyway. Let's get rid of it, go back. Oop, gone. Just like that. Oh no! It's not gone. Okay, so if you don't change the values, they save. That's awesome, actually. Really good, really good. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. There's not a lot still. It's just like I said, the flight bag itself and performance calculator. And the calculator looks pretty good, like pretty professional. That's pretty much how they do look in real life. I've seen a couple of real units, and the UI is very similar. That's nice. Makes it feel very professional, very serious. Now I do wish they would have taken their time and flesh it out first instead of doing what they did and releasing it. I do understand their reasoning. I mean, people have been waiting for it for so long and asking for it for so long, so they felt like, let's just release what we got. It's working, and we can clearly see that it is in fact operational. You just kind of decided to call it a day and release it. and then finish off the development. And at the very least, we don't have to wait longer. So we already have the core, the essentials are there. But I wish they would have taken their time instead and fleshed it out a little bit more, because it could backfire. And it is backfiring. People are complaining. People are saying it's terrible. It is not terrible. My honest opinion, I don't think it's terrible. I think it is lacking in feature, which is obvious, and they know that. I mean, they know that very well, that it is not fleshed out. That's obvious. You don't need even to be all that, used to the industry standard to know that it's a bit lacking. I mean, just look at it. There's two icons. You have two icons. It is a bit barren. But the things that are in there, they're nice. The performance tool looks really good. I like it. I really like it. The integration with SeaBreathe also looks great. No complaints. The UI could do with a little bit of work. Design language. I'm a UI UX designer myself. I learned it at university. I never actually did it professionally, but I learned it as part of my degree. Studied advertising communication. So, from a UI standpoint, I do think that it could be improved, but it's functional. It does the job. The information is there at your fingertips, and it's fast. It doesn't seem to impact performance. I didn't notice any. Oh, I forgot you. I got completely sidetracked here with the video, and I forgot to mind my flight. But yeah. It is not bad, but it's also nothing special. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Like I like it, but at the same time, I wish they would have taken their time, because it backfires, and it is backfiring. People are complaining. People are saying it is terrible. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. They are still gonna add this stuff. It is obviously underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not there. The the whole idea of the ecosystem, the garden that they promised, is actually very nice, very compelling. It has a lot of potential. Once the developers embrace it and start adding stuff, it could be fantastic. It could be a game changer, for all we know, because nobody else does that. That idea was brilliant. The whole that was unheard of before. Like, if anything, KD pilots EFB, which is going to be external. It doesn't belong to an airplane specific. It's a general EFB for flight simulation. She had an idea of people being able to create applications themselves, but within the aircraft market, just the aircraft themselves, that's a first. So it's a very nice concept, but how is it gonna in the future? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot tell. But what I can tell is that they could have been a little bit more smart about the whole rollout procedure. Could have fleshed it out a tad bit more before releasing it to everyone, because people have been waiting for 3 years.